This video is for section 15-1. So this is the first section after our test, and this one is called triangle mid-segment. Okay, so pretty much what this says, well, there's a theorem here. So let's write it down. It says triangle mid-segment theorem. Okay, I'm gonna write the whole thing. So it says the midsegment of a triangle is parallel to the third side. Okay, and its length is 1/2 the length of the third side. Okay, so that's what it says in words, but really all it says is, so you have a triangle, okay, and let's call this one ABC. So you have triangle ABC. What you need to do is you need to find the midpoint of AB, which is going to be right there. And then you find the midpoint of BC, which is going to be right there. And then you just connect them. And that is the mid segment. This one right here is the mid segment. Okay, we should call it M and N. Okay, now where M and N are midpoints. Okay, so, and then what the theorem says is that MN is equal to 1/2 of whatever AC is. Okay, so here we go, example number 1. So let's go ahead and draw a triangle, and let's just keep it consistent, ABC. And now we know that this one is E and that one is D, and then we have the mid segment right there, which is ED. So ED is the mid segment. Okay, and they want you to find all segments. So this one is 12, this one is 4, this one is 3. So find all segments. Okay, so when you do this type of problems, you have to apply everything that you know. So they say that since this is the mid segment, that makes E the midpoint of AB. So if E is the midpoint, it's in the middle of AB, then you know that that one is equal to that one. Now, since this one is 4, then this one is also 4 because E is the midpoint. Okay? Now, the same thing happens on the other side. D is the midpoint of BC. So that means that if BD is 3, then that one is congruent to DC, therefore DC is 3. Now, to find ED, the mid-segment, we know this mid-segment is equal to 1/2 of the third side, so 1/2 of AC. All we have to do is substitute in what AC is, which is 12, and we know that ED is equal to 6. Okay, so that's all there is. But those are the basic ones. Then we can also do problems that involve algebra. Okay, so in example 2, so I have this triangle here. Okay, that one is A, B, C, and then that one is E, that one is D, and we know that ED is the mid segment. And then this one is 2x plus 6, and this one is 8x minus 2. So how can we find x? Well, we know that ED, the mid-segment, is 1/2 of the third side, which is AC. Now if ED is 2x plus 6, and that is equal to 1/2 of AC, which is 8x minus 2. At this point, it's just algebra. It depends how you want to solve it. What I would do is get rid of the fractions. So I'm going to multiply this side by 2 and the other side by 2. That makes a 1. So now you distribute the 2 on this side and you get 4x plus 12 equal to 8x minus 2. You subtract 4x, you add the 2, okay? You add the 2, and then now you know that x is going to be 14 over 4, which is the same thing as 7/2. There's your answer, okay? So let's look at a different one. So the idea is the same. Just remember, the mid-segment is equal to 1/2 of the third side. So here's another one, example 3. So let's call a different one. Let's call this J. The midpoint is D. The midpoint is E. So there's your mid-segment. DE is the mid-segment. This one is I. This one is H. And they want us to find JH. And this one is 2x minus 9, and this one is x plus 3. So again, the idea is the same. The concept is that this one is equal to 1/2 of that. So we have to do is 2x minus 9 equal to 1/2 of JH, which is x plus 3. Again, I'm going to get rid of the fraction by multiplying each side by 2. That makes a 1, and this side by 2. So now I get 4x minus 18 equal to x plus 3. What you do after, you subtract the x, so now you get 3x, and then you're going to add 18, and you get 21. Okay, you divide each side by 3, and now you have x equals 7. Now, that's part of the problem, but that's not what they want us to do. They want us to find JH. So all you have to do is plug it in. So that means JH, which is x plus 3. All you have to do is replace the x with 7. So that means JH is equal to 10. If we did it right, DE must be half of JH. So that means DE is 5. So if I plug in here 7, I get 2 times 5. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 minus 9, I know DE is equal to 5. Okay, that's for triangles. However, the idea applies also to trapezoids. Okay, so however, in trapezoids, the mid-segment is called a median. Okay, but the idea is it's the same. However, on the trapezoids, we have we have 2 bases, and we have to take that into consideration. So here's my trapezoid, where M and N is what MN is called the median. And now we have F, G, E, and H. Now I know M and N are midpoints. And because that's what medians do. Medians make midpoints on opposite segments, right? So that means this side is equal to that side, or that segment, and then this segment is equal to that segment. So what this is telling you is that MN is equal to 1/2. So the median is equal to 1/2 of the sum of the 2 bases. So 1/2 of EH plus F, that's a G, FG. Okay? So let's do a quick and easy example. It's example 4. So let's say I have this trapezoid. Okay? We don't know if it's right because it's not marked, but I know that's the midpoint of that side, and that's the midpoint of that side, and we're going to call that ED. So there's your median. And this one is W, X, V, and Y. Now I know this one is 6, this one is 18. So now to find ED, all you have to do is add the 2 bases divided by 2. So it's 1/2 of WX, which is 6, plus VY, which is 18. So that means you get 6 plus 18, that is 24. So you get 1/2 of 24. And that is half of 24, that is 12. So that means ED is equal to 12 units. Now, if you look at it carefully, how do you go from 6 to 12? Well, you add 6. So that means to go from 12 to 18, you also have to add 6, because that's the median. It's right at the middle, right? So there is a connection. So and then if you don't see that, just apply that. Now again, we can do this with algebra. Okay. So here's the last example. Okay, so we have let's do this one. Okay, I have this isosceles trapezoid. This one is isosceles trapezoid. Okay, and it is the same idea as in the isosceles triangle. Since it's an isosceles trapezoid, I know this leg is congruent to that leg. So that one is T. This one is H. There is your median. Okay, this one is A, B, C, and D. Okay, I know this one is 18. That one is 38. And this one is 3x minus 2. And then I also have this one. This one is 4y plus 2. And this one is 2y plus 8. Okay. Well, how do I find x? All I have to do is, first, we know that the median, TH, is equal to 1/2 of the sum of the two bases, right? I always like to do that, and you should also do that. Write everything out, and then you just substitute in the values. So you know TH is 3x minus 2, right? You know BC is 18, and you know AD is 38. Okay, now since these two are just numbers, I don't really have to get rid of the fraction because I can just add them up and then divide by 2. So 38 plus 18, you get, that is 1/2 of 56. Okay, so 1/2 of 56, you get 28. And then all you have to do is add 2, so you get 3x is equal to 30. Then you divide by 3, and x is equal to 10. So there is your x. If you really want to find out what TH is, just plug it in. So 3 times 10 is 30. 30 minus 2, you get 28. And again, you can see that if they're going up by 10s, 18 plus 10, that gives you 28. 28 plus 10, let's give you 38. Okay. Now, how do we find y? Well, the key is on the type of trapezoid that we have, which is isosceles. That means this side is congruent to the entire side. AB is congruent to CD, okay? Because it's isosceles. Now, I know that this is the midpoint of that. That's the midpoint of this side. So that means this one is congruent to that, and this one is congruent to that. So all these little segments are congruent to one another. So to find y, I know that TB is congruent to HD. Okay, so all you do is substitute them in. So you know 2y plus 8 is TB, and HD is 4y plus 2. So subtract 2y on each side, you get 2y. Subtract 2 here, and then you're going to get 6. So that means y is equal to 3. So there's your value. If you want to find the segment on each side, so you just plug it in. 12 plus 2, that gives you 14. So that's 14, that's 14. And you can also check on this side. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 8, that gives you 14 and 14. Okay, that's all there is. So to practice, get your book and go to page 212, do numbers 11 and 12, and I will also post a handout on the Google Classroom. Okay, it will be just below this video. Okay, and that is the median and the midsegment of trapezoids and triangles. So